Hello, church. I hope this devotional finds you well. I'm in the midst of a series of devotionals, the topic of which is today's greatest challenges to the modern church. And this devotional is about abortion. So let's get right down to it. This first verse should be enough. Exodus 20:13. You shall not murder. Now, I have watched many YouTube videos on all the subjects I'm covering in these devotionals, to try and understand why people think the way they think and why they think they're right in their wrong thinking and application of what is their reality. And it saddens me and sickens me in most cases. Time and time again, the biggest argument I see is usually young college women who insist that a baby is not a baby, not a viable human being until it comes out of the mother's womb and is physically born. We all know this is not true. Psalm 139, 13, 16. For you formed my inward parts. You knitted me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was being made in secret, intricately woven in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed substance. In your book were written, every one of them, the days that were formed for me, when as yet there were none of them. What a beautiful passage that is. Leviticus 24:17. Whoever takes a human life shall surely be put to death. Now, in this case, I mean, back then they probably were, but and we do have capital punishment, but unconfessed murder is of course a sin, and if a person doesn't repent from that before they die, they're doomed. There are so many passages here I could go on with, but as Christians, we recognize the fact that Moloch is at work here. Okay, this is idolatry. This is Satanism. This is child murder. This is genocide. And people use this under the guise of health care, which is so sad because the number of women who have clinical abortions due to risk of their own lives is minuscule. And in fact, most mothers, even though they could be potentially at risk, will say, I want this child to be born no matter what happens to me. And that's been done time and time again. One case that stands out in my mind is a woman who had cancer and refused any treatment until her child was born because she didn't want the radiation to possibly harm or kill her child. She gave birth, and by then it was too late. And despite the doctor's best efforts, she died. But she fulfilled her goal of allowing her child to live. And a woman with their child are about as selfless as a person can be. So this comes under the whole thing of deception. People either deluding themselves and they just want things to be a certain way and they're not. A child is a child at conception. A child killed in the womb is murder. And of course, people will say, well, they're not a child. Well, the obvious question to ask them is, how come if a person kills a pregnant woman, they're charged with multiple murders? So in that sense, the law recognizes a fetus, which is in English means an unborn child. The law recognizes in the case of murder that it's an unborn child, and yet we have laws that you can birth a baby and kill it and leave it on the table to die. What have we become? How is this even possible? And this argument goes on and on and on. Personally, in my life, my wife has told me that she worked with a woman who had how many abortions?
4.
She had 4 abortions and thought nothing of it. And for her,
19.
she was 19, and she considered abortion a form of birth control. I mean, how tragic is this? So, I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but one of the most divisive issues we have with people of faith is with people who have no faith, who say that we're allowing our faith to interfere with the laws of our country. Of course we are. They're allowing their values to interfere with our faith. They're injecting their beliefs into wanting to kill babies, and we're injecting our beliefs into the fray also because we don't want them to kill the babies. So how ridiculous of an argument is that? I just wanted to have some clarity on this issue to say today, and we cannot give up the fight on this. It's sad. It's terrible. But some things we have to stand for, and that's never going to change. And people are looking out for their own personal convenience rather than another person's life, and that's what it comes down to. In 99.9% of the cases, it's very sad, but that's where we're at. I hope this helps put some clarity on the situation. God bless, church.